All right, hope you're ready for a new math workshop problem. Here we go. My story says, Troy had 5 scoops of ice cream in a cone. All right, so I know, as we have said all this week, that as we read a story problem, we think while we're reading and we have to visualize and put those pictures in our mind. So we know that Troy had an ice cream cone and he had 5 scoops on his ice cream cone. Some fell to the ground. Oh my goodness. Now he has 1 scoop. How many scoops fell to the ground? So, add that little question mark there. We know that the first thing that we do with a story problem is we always think about what is the question asking us. So we go to the question mark and we read that question again. How many scoops fell to the ground? So we have to figure out our unit, what we're talking about. So let's see, how many what? How many scoops? And I know that I circle it and then I write it. So I'm going to write scoops. So I'm talking about scoops of ice cream. Now, as we've been saying, we're getting first grade ready. So we're not only just going to include our unit, we can also extend that a little bit and we can answer that question. So how many scoops fell to the ground? Let's turn that into an answer statement. There were, what are we talking about? Oh, scoops, but we don't know how many yet. There were, scoops, but what's the question saying? Scoops in the ice cream cone? No, you guessed it. Scoops that fell to the ground. So there were, scoops that, I'm just going to say fell down. That's okay. All right. So we've got our good answer sentence. It makes sense. There were, scoops that fell down. So going back to the problem, I know I have to reread. I've got to figure this thing out. I've got to see what my problem is saying. Troy had 5 scoops of ice cream. Okay, so as I'm thinking, I'm going to go ahead and draw out and write what my thinking is. So there's my 5 scoops of ice cream. Well, wait a minute. It says some fell to the ground. So did he get more ice cream? Or did some of these fall to the ground? You're right. You guessed it. Some of these fell to the ground. So we don't know how many because it says some. So I bet you that's what we're having to find out. Yep, the scoops that fell down. Okay. Now he has 1 scoop. So he had 5. Some or part of that fell to the ground. Now he has 1 scoop. So as I'm filling out my unit bar, and this is how I'm organizing my thinking, I need to label it for real life so that I understand what these numbers mean. So let's go back to this. Troy had 5 scoops of ice cream. So I wonder, how could I label this for real life so that it makes sense? So I can put an I for ice cream. Okay. And then right here, the question mark. Wait a minute. Some fell to the ground. So that some means I don't know. So these are the ones that fell. They fell down. Couldn't eat those anymore. Then it says, now he has 1. So wait a minute. 1 what? 1 ice cream scoop. But wait a minute. This says ice cream and this says ice cream. So I need to be a little bit more precise, a little bit more clear, so that I understand what the difference is between this 5 and this 1. What does it represent? Well, this is the ice cream that Troy, he was my fellow that was eating ice cream. This is what he had first before anything fell, before it got melted, before he dropped any of the ice cream to the ground. And this 1 scoop is all he had left after some fell to the ground. So I'm going to say this is the ice cream that he had last, or he has now. So either way, that makes sense to you, okay? Now, as I'm looking at my unit bar, I notice that I see the whole thing. I know that Troy didn't get any more than 5, and I know that one of those is a part. That was the part that he had last, and that some of those fell. So, I wonder what kind of equation I could, wait a minute, I know that if I have a whole and a part, that I can subtract that part, or I can count on and I can reach 5. So, you know what? I think I'm going to do it this way this time. I think I'm going to say that a part, the part that fell, plus if I put together the part that he has now at the end, the last, plus that part. So both of those parts have to equal what he had first, which is, yes, that is my whole. Okay, so wait a minute. Part, I don't know that one. It's a question mark. Plus, okay, the one that he has now at the end, the last, equals 5. So I think I'm going to do, what strategy could I use? It looks to me like this has to be a combination of 5 for my friends out there that remember my combinations of 5. So 1 and have to give me 5, but I want to make sure that I'm doing it right. So I think what I can do is I can show 1, this is a part, so I'm going to show it as a part. So there's my part, okay? But I need to know the other part, so I'm going to count on until I reach my whole of 5, because that's all the ice cream that he had. So I'm going to count on, and I'm going to show a different part. So watch how I show a different part. So 1, I'm going to count on, and I'm going to stop at 5. That's all I had. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, wait a minute. 5, I stopped at 5, but now I can clearly see that I have, this was my part, this was the part that I had at the end, and this was my other part. So I can see that this is the part that I was looking for. So it must be 4. Okay, but I need to show another strategy. So, thinking what could I do? Oh, you know what? I have not done a tens frame. So I think I'm going to do a tens frame. And for my friends that remember how to draw a tens frame is a rectangle. We know that a rectangle has 2 long sides most of the time, and it has 2 short sides. It has a slash, and you guessed it, it has 4 lines down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know it's a tens frame, and it's hard to see because I have lines here. Let me fix it. Okay, did a little switcheroo with my pen to make sure that it was easy to see that slash down. So I know that now I have 10 spaces, and I'm going to check that just to make sure so I can be precise while I'm doing my this strategy. So I know that it's in the 5 group way, so I should have 5 on the top and I should have 5 on the bottom. So I'm going to check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, count on, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's correct. I have 10 spots. So don't mind the little blue lines. These are just whole spaces. All right, so wait a minute. It says right here that something and 1 gives me 5. So I'm going to show this part, just like I did here. I'm going to color that in to show that part. So 1 and something gives me a whole of 5. So I'm going to make sure that my whole is 5. So I'm going to go all the way and make sure that my whole is 5. So the whole thing is 5. So I see that. I've got 1 as my part, and then my other part is 4. So yep, that shows me. So again, this strategy also showed me that 4 scoops must have fallen to the ground. Let's see. So I need to put it in my unit. 4 scoops, and then into my answer statement or my answer sentence. there were, we now know with 2 different strategies, there were 4 scoops that fell down. Now your problem is a little bit different, but make sure that you show 2 different strategies, however it makes the most sense for you. Make sure that you show your unit, your and if you want to extend, show me your sentence that you write to get first grade ready. Can't wait to see what you do and how you explain. Remember, you are the closer this week again, and you're going to explain all of your strategies and how you came up with your answer. All right, bye.